Hello everyone, this is Miss C here again. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. There is so much going on in the world, and I have a question that I would like to pose to the cards that will probably affect most younger people in the United States. And that is a question about student loan debt. And there has been some talk about debt forgiveness, and other avenues to try and assist those who have been burdened with student loan debt. And I'm going to ask of the cards today, what is going to come of the student loan debt crisis that we have in the United States? So I'm concerned with that, as are many people, considering that due to the 19 scare, the C bug, the C virus. I call it the 19 scare. Lots of businesses have gone under. They have not recovered. Many people, millions of people, are unemployed right now. Many hundreds of thousands have just dropped out of the system because their benefits have run out and they have been unsuccessful at finding work. So it's hard enough right now to just simply try to live, to put food on the table, to have a roof over your head, and the basic necessities for life. So not only do many people have that concern, but they also have the concern of the burden of the student loan debts, which most of them cannot be canceled out by bankruptcy. So those things will ride you for the rest of your life. They can garnish your wages for student loan debt. So this is a really serious issue, and I know there are a lot of people wondering, will they get a bailout? Will they get any money or any debt forgiveness, as some of the corporations and some of the larger businesses have gotten? Will the people of the country be able to get such assistance? So I am going to pose that question to the cards and see what the cards can tell me, and I will try to interpret as best of my abilities where this may go and what the outcome may be for those who have been saddled with student loan debt, with the mindset that they would be able to find gainful employment and have no problem paying the debt back. These are not people who are deadbeats or don't want to pay their bills. These are just people who have been put between a rock and a hard place, as are many other people right now who want to work but can't find work, who want to provide for their families, but because of the things with the 19 scare and businesses closing and things shutting down, it makes it damn near impossible for people to do. So without further ado, let's go to the cards and see what the cards have to say about what will become of the student loan debt that youngsters, and I won't just say youngsters, but the people of the United States, what will come of the student loan debt crisis we are having in the United States. So let's see what the cards have to tell us. And as with all of my videos, these videos are for entertainment purposes only. This is my opinion and my interpretation of what the cards have told me and what I have interpreted from the cards. So you can take this information, wad it up and throw it in the trash, or you can use it how you see fit to assist yourself moving forward or to help others. So the question is, what will come of the student loan crisis in the United States? All right. Okay. All right. All right. So from what I can see here, the issue at hand is the inner voice. And I will ask for clarification on that because we're asking a question about the student loan debt. What will come of it? All right. Now we have what is coming into view, which is the second card here. What is coming into view is consciousness. And we all know that people are waking up. So consciousness is coming into view. I think a lot of people are rethinking education and how they pay for education, the cost of education, the benefits and the I won't say the benefits, but the pros and cons of higher education and how the system works. I think people are coming into the consciousness of how all of that is playing out and what all of that means at the end of the day. And here we have what is passing. And in this position is the Creator. What is passing? And because we're talking about student loan debt, I'm going to say Creator means those people who came up with ways in which to almost make higher education unaffordable and how it basically robs you. Almost like if you think about during the housing crisis, we had all of those risky mortgages. Well, student loan debt and the types of loans that a lot of people wind up getting is a lot like that. And I'm going to say that those days are passing where people are going to be able, these corporations are going to be able to be the creator of these predatory loan practices, these predatory loans, because that's what a lot of them are. So that is passing. The creation of these types of things are passing. And what is underlying the issue, which is the inner voice? And I would have to say, okay, I'm getting a little clarity here on the one card, which is the issue at hand, the inner voice. And the inner voice is using your intuition and seeing with more than just your eyes. And that people were going to school and getting these loans because that was what they were told they needed to do in order to be successful. And so the issue with the student loans was that that was what a lot of the people envisioned with these student loans, is that that's what I'm supposed to do. In order to get a better job, I have to spend money to get a better education. And in order to get a better education, I've got to take one of these loans. And many of the loans are predatory. And the way that they operate, as I said earlier in the video, is that they operate in a way to where no matter what you do, you file for bankruptcy because you can't find a job or whatever the case may be, and you file for bankruptcy. Well, those loans are going to be with you through that bankruptcy. The majority of those loans are going to be with you through that bankruptcy, so you cannot shake this. You're still going to have to pay it. Kind of like your IRS taxes. You can't lose those in a bankruptcy. Those are with you. You got to pay those. And so moment by moment is what underlies the issue of the inner voice. And to me, what this is saying here is moment by moment is what underlies this. You were in the moment because that's what you were told in the moment that you needed to do, was to acquire the degree so that you could get a better job or you could get a raise or what have you. So you were in the moment. That is what is underlying here. You were in the moment. You weren't thinking about what happens if I can't find work. And in your mind, you were never thinking we would be looking at a society in which we are living in right now, where you have your own business and the government is telling you you must shut down for the safety of the country. So you can't earn money. No one I know I can say I never would have imagined or fathomed the thought of having a business and not being able to open it. And not because I'm unable to, because I'm sick or I just can't, but because I'm told I can't. That's almost like saying I cannot support myself. Even though I'm physically able, I have the knowledge and skills too, but being told you can't. So moment to moment, you never thought that something like this would happen. And so you planned out, you planned out for the future. You were living in the moment because that's what you thought the right thing was to do. And that is what is underlying this inner voice. And this inner voice was telling you to do what everyone is saying you should do. There were television commercials saying, advertising going back to school, and we offer payment plans, and all of these enticing things were coming on television and on the radios, and people were coming to your job, and your job was promoting it. Companies were promoting it. Religious institutions and churches were promoting going back to school. And so that was what everybody felt they needed to do, because that was what was going on in that moment. And the inner voice is the issue. Were we listening to the inner voice when we got those student loans? Were we thinking outside of what we could see, hear, touch? Were we thinking outside of those things? That's what the issue is, the inner voice. All right. So we are now at card 5, which is what should be done. And according to this layout, it is outsider is what should be done. Now, if you notice here, there's a little child, and we're talking about mostly young people, but there are some older people with student loan debt as well. But this is a young boy standing at the gate, looking in, thinking he's locked out of where this gate leads, this path. But if you notice right here, the lock on the gate is unlocked. It's not locked. The chain is only wrapped around the gate. So what should be done here is the position of this card. What should be done? What underlies the issue is you were living moment by moment, and you were not listening to your inner voice. And what should be done is the outsider. And I will have to ask for clarity on that. So let's come back to card 5, what should be done. So let's take a look at card 6, which is what is the most important thing in the reading. And the most important thing in the reading is maturity. Is the card that is in the 6th position. And I think this speaks for itself, because maturity is what is needed. We were living, you were living moment to moment, because that was what was being promoted to you at the moment. And at that time was get a degree. Oh, don't worry about, you don't have the cash for it. You can take out a loan. You can try and get this, that, or the other, pay it out over time, is what it underlies the issue. But you were not using your discernment. You were not using your intuition to see forward to what was going on. And it's not just people who got student loan. There's a lot of people who are in the same situation, with or without student loan debt. But it is to the point to where we are advertised to death. So you constantly have things moment to moment flashed in front of your face 24 hours a day. And a lot of people bought into that. But this card here is saying what is the most important thing in this reading, and that is maturity. There has to be a increased level of maturity, and that means more than just age and wisdom. That means that we have to start learning how to think and see things differently. It means that we have to mature in our ways of operating, meaning everything is not going to come in the pattern that we think it is supposed to come. Yes, I know we have been taught that we should just go to high school, finish high school, graduate, get good grades, go off to college, take out a student loan, or your parents pay your way and they take on the debt for you to go to school. And then when you get out of school, you'll get a good job, and then you get married and have kids, and then start the cycle all over again. Well, when I say maturity, that's what I'm talking about. We need to get away from that one-way thinking. I'm not saying that that way of thinking is wrong. I'm saying we need to look at other alternatives, because not everybody's life or lifestyle or life choices are going to fit into that very narrow windowed way of thinking. So maturity means, to me, and the way I'm interpreting it from this card, is thinking of other ways in which to get to where you are trying to go, instead of taking out $50, $60, $100,000 in debt. Maybe take a lighter course load. Maybe pay for the courses as you go. That way you don't have the debt. You may not finish in 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years, but at the same time, you may not incur, and won't incur if you pay as you go, all of the debt that is saddled upon you with the interest and the penalties for not paying, and the possible garnishment of wages that you get when you do not pay back student loans. So when I say maturity, that's what I'm talking about. And that is the most important thing that this reading is saying that needs to be heeded in this card spread. All right. Now, I must say I'm happy with card 7, which is the outcome card. And that card is playfulness. So, does that mean that they will get some kind of relief on student debt? I think it's possible. This playful card is like a happy card. So I think there will be some type of relief, because the playful card is kind of like a celebration card. So the outcome for the student loan crisis that we are currently having, I do believe will come with some type of relief. Will it be complete debt forgiveness? I don't know. But I think there will be some relief provided. So let's go back to this card here, which is card 5. What should be done? And I'm going to have to say it has a lot to do with the maturity card here. And I say that because the outsider card, what should be done, is the outside in the, what should be done is the outsider card. And this means step away, step outside of all of the moment by moment advertisement that we see and hear, all of the promoting and all of the competing against one another, the moment by moment. Oh, this person has this, so now I've got to get that. He just got this kind of degree, so now I got to up mine. And I think what this card here in the what should be done is to step outside of this limelight, inside of this gate. Step back and look at that. What should be done? Step back and look at all of this moment by moment stuff that is being shown to you. The moment by moment ads for this and ads for that, and newsletters in the mail for this or that, and upgrade to this and upgrade to that. I think what the outsider card here is talking about is tied to the maturity card, because when you step outside of the limelight, you can see a better picture of the bigger picture. And doing that is a form of maturity, because it's all of the fancy bright lights and everybody's doing it and everybody is over there, so I want to go in too. But when you step outside the gate and you're just looking in and not a part of it, you see the fancy clothes, the fancy car, and the fancy house, but you do not have the entanglements of the paying the car note, paying for the fancy clothes and whatnot. So you're on the outside so you can see better. So I think card 5 position, what should be done is to step away from all of the competitive ways of thought that we've been taught in society, which is get the latest phone, the latest this, and oh, the new these are coming out and the new those are coming out. Step outside of that is what needs to be done, and look at your life from a survival level. What is it that I really need? And start paying attention to what you really need instead of all of the things that you want. And focus on that, because in here you see all the beautiful lights back behind the gate. It looks kind of like a club, you know, and that's kind of enticing when you can hear the music going in the club and everybody's ready to get in and get their groove on, you know. So you see the lights, but while you're on the outside of the club, you can hear and see from a distance, so you can make a better decision whether or not you want to even go inside. So I think that's what this card is saying, which again, like I said, ties to maturity. Because when you start to mature, you don't have to have everything right away. You're willing to wait a little longer. You don't have to have this in 2 years or 4 years, and I don't have to have this when I graduate. I don't have to have this by 21. I don't have to have this by 30. That's a form of maturity, because you are working in your own life speed, and not the speed that has been set for you by society, which is the moment by moment. Skip to this rock, skip to that rock, over here, over there. So this is what should be done. Step back and see if you really needed all of that, because if you can look at the mistakes that you've already made, or the not so good decisions that you've already made, and understand why you made them, you may have learned a life lesson that you won't have to repeat again. Because I can tell you, as the life lessons are not learned, they get harder each time you move forward in life. So with that being said, I can say that the outcome of this reading indicates to me that there will be some relief provided for those who have student loan debt. How much and how it will be rendered, I am not sure. But we will take a look at this again as time progresses. And I will keep my ear to the ground to see if there is any truth to what I have interpreted here. But there will be, according to what I am seeing here in the cards, there will be some relief. To what degree, I don't know. I'm not going to try to say, but I will say that there will be some relief provided to people with student loan debt. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching today. I want to thank you for taking an interest in watching my videos. I do give personal readings, so if you would like to receive one, you can go online to my website at www.watchthatmonkeyvines.com and book a time on the calendar there. And or you may go to my email and request a reading there. And my email address is wtmonkeywine@yahoo.com. That's wtmonkeywine@yahoo.com. Or you may visit my website. Of course, there's many other things on my website that you may find helpful. And again, this is Mrs. C here. I want to thank you guys again for watching it and taking an interest in what I have to say. And I will see you next time. So have a great and enlightened day.